like last stream, I thought I'd go through what I did between streams. Because at the end of last stream, we had a dual system. Which kind of worked. Was a little bit goofy. They were acting at the same time, and I know why that was. So I fixed that. Which was... here. Did it. I fixed it. Did some more events, and I'll show you some of that. I also added some camera tracking. So it kind of tracks the duel. It like moves in on it. It's very janky looking, but it's a bit more visually interesting. I updated the animation slightly so they're more responsive. And I also, for today's stream, I added a ninja enemy prefab to act as an enemy. And then what we're going to do today is actually make an enemy class. Delio, I should show the duel system. I just need to make sure it's actually going to do it. Might have to delete the code. Okay, so got 2 instantiations of villagers, and then we got the duel. I can actually just run it and show you. Right, so duel. It's active at the moment. They're both there. We go to villager manager. It's somewhere here. Hey, they're dueling. And if we go on my little dude, show to health of 10. And Rabbit's there with a health of 10 as well. Not her turn, but it is mine. So I can attack and I hit her. So now her health has gone down by 1. And it's now her turn, so she can attack back. Bam. Does some damage. He did more damage though. I want 3 health. And we can keep going through. Oh, I blocked that time. Bam, block. Attack. Block. Block. Attack, block. Attack damage. She killed me and she wins. Woo! So the way I did it in the end, I shall show you. Right, so the way I got around them taking the turns at the same time, the problem was the code would execute for one of them. I'll show you in the code. So just ignore most of it. I'll just highlight this. So what I would do here, I'd press number 1, do an attack. The players whose turn it was would attack. Then in the code for the village manager, when that happens, you execute this thing, which will make it the next person in combat's turn. It does that, it's then their turn, then their code is executed, which is the same here. So it does the exact same thing. And in that same frame, the button is still being pressed down, so they both attack. So it doesn't work. Now, obviously, when this is a Twitch extension and people control it through the panel or overlay, whatever it is, this isn't going to be an issue. But I needed to do some code for me to test with. So it's horrible. Basically, it says if the name of one of them is Rusty, then it'll look for number presses 1, 2, and 3. And then if the other person is Rabbit, if the person being controlled is Rabbit, it'll then look for Q, W, and E being pressed. It's kind of janky, but it's just a way to do it. And in fact, what I've done is I've encapsulated it in a preprocessor directive, which is this, which basically tells the compiler special stuff when it's dealing with this code. So that if statement will only, this code here will only be compiled if we are in the editor, which is this. When this is a full game, this code is going to be pulled out when it's built, so it's not going to get touched. That's what I had to do to fix that. You guys actually saw there is a very basic camera tracking, and it isn't too nice. It's pretty robotic, but that's a job. That actually isn't a lot of code either. So I do that here. So it's in a special update called Late Update, which is an update done after update. The reason it's in there is because the camera's position in this code is being dictated by other things moving. If you have it late update, it happens after all movement and updates are calculated, so it results in a less janky camera. And all it does is it finds a distance between the two duelists, and then it moves towards a special vector, which is decided by an offset on the x-axis. I'm manually choosing its x position. I think it's just 0. Then the y position? No, sorry. It's the camera's offset x position. It uses the distance between the two as the y position, and then the z offset. And I'm also changing the size of the camera, so it's like zooming in basically, and that uses the duelist distance as well. And it's using a function within Unity, move towards, to sort of animate that. And it looks kind of funky, but it's there. I just wanted to have something more visual. So I did some minor changes, as you might have noticed. When they... Already it doesn't look too good. That's a bit weird. Yeah, I tried to make the attack and the block more responsive, so you may notice that. And yeah, that's not going to be super important. That was just a personal preference thing. But I can try and go over how I made this a bit better. For the duel. So in the duel script now, it does what it did last time, except now there's a variable that decides where they stand. So originally when we were doing this on stream, they were standing really far apart. And I've shortened that slightly, and now it's a variable. So actually, if we just do in there, dual distance, there it is, put that up to 8. Thanks. Give me emails. Let's just turn off focus assist. So now they're further apart, and it's more zoomed out. So yes, and then we've got events. So I added events for when they attack, which I think I did last stream. And what it does is when they attack, it executes the next turn script, which works quite neatly. But also when the duelists do call the on attack enemy, when they choose to attack an enemy, it adds an event on the other one. So you see duelist A to duelist B, the attacked by function, which it's very confusing and it's hard to conceptualize, but basically it's a way for the duelists to send a message to each other about the attack without them having reference to each other, because before, when we left this, they had references up here to the duelist, their enemy, but I've removed that now. So it's just the events they have reference to. So in the attacked by function, you look, so firstly, they send across what they roll to hit, and then the enemy decides if that beats their armor class. And if it does, they then do the damage roll from the enemy. So actually, if you look, where do I find that? Find the references. There we go. Oh, that's just the adding. Oh, it's this that we want to find references to. So when they choose to attack, which is up here, when I press the buttons, alpha 1 or Q, they attack. In the attack function, it tells them to do the attack animation. It then calls the on attack enemy, and it sends the result of their roll to hit, which is that, and then it sends the damage roll function. It doesn't actually send the result, because like in D&D, when you roll to hit, you roll to hit first, and then they go, yeah, that hits, or no, that doesn't hit, and then you do damage. So it sends it as a function, which then means in the attacked by function, it does the damage roll, and it will tell you, and then it'll set the hurt effect if they got hurt, reduce their health. Otherwise, it'll say it doesn't hit your AC, and I play the block animation to signify that they didn't hit. That probably is very confusing. I tried to explain that, but that's what I did. It's a little bit nicer. It means they don't need specific references to their enemies. They can just, you can set up events, and I'll probably need to change that when I make this into multiple enemies versus multiple players, but that's what I did. I also fixed the stats, so dexterity modifier actually works properly now. And then, yeah, I've just got some of the basic stats. There. Cool. Right. Hope that made sense. Maybe that was interesting. Maybe you switched off. But that's what I did. I think that's pretty much everything of note. Yeah, so